Okay, so this is me, Simon Parsons. Joined the army quite a long time ago, so 97. Did 25 years as an aircraft engineer in the REME. Like all of you on the call, I guess you join the army and you go and do the experience stuff, and then you get to the end and you think, oh my god, I now need to find my PDR, the big black folder that we used to get with the little floppy disk in there that you can't actually use anymore. And I need to get all my certificates together, and I need to work out what I've done and my experience in all the different postings. Yeah, well, that's a big part of the resettlement process. So the first part, really, because you need to do that to then craft your CV, don't you, and create your LinkedIn account. But I left the military as a chartered engineer, chartered manager. There's all good stuff that you can do to take advantage of the qualifications that the military gives you as well. And then after, in Civvy Street, I got the member of the APM as well. So things to consider in your journeys. I continued the military life, so I'm in 160 Company of 101 Battalion REME. So I'm not going to talk too much about reservists on this call. We haven't got enough time, sadly. But if you do want to know a bit about the reserves, again, I can do some myth busting for you. It's not exactly the same as the regular space, because clearly you have a day job as well. So I'm happy to talk to you over calls about that too. And my role in Wellington is a principal project management consultant. And there you go. No presentation would be a presentation without Winston Churchill quote. So reservist, twice the citizen, and you probably see a lot of reservist content going out on LinkedIn and in the news because the world's getting more of a dangerous place, isn't it? So we need our reserve force. Okay, so very quickly, I'm conscious here for project management. Aircraft engineer in the REME, left the REME, joined a digital transformation consultancy called Vima Group. My first gig was in defence digital, so worked back in the defence space, training project management for the people in defence digital. Really enjoyed my first project, it was great. Then I moved into Fraser Nash. So Vima was a SME, Fraser Nash larger, so the staff count increased by a factor of 10. So very different feel. There's no right or wrong, but very different feel from an SME to a corporate type organization. So there's another thing to consider when you're looking out for businesses to join. What sort of size business do you want, because there are differences. And then I moved from Fraser Nash into Wellington. Again, as I say, is an SME and a project management SME. All the way through, I had the reserves in the background, happening in the background. And you'll see there that the little picture there, I spent 25 years hoping to get out to Belize. And it wasn't until I joined the reserves that I ended up going to Belize. So there are lots and lots of benefits. And you'll see from one of my recent posts, there are lots of benefits to joining the reserves. And it's on your terms as well. So it's not exactly the same as the regular space. Okay. So enough about me. That is enough about me. Let's hear about you. So we've got a Mentee survey. So we've got one in the army so far. Hopefully, there you go. So people have found the Mentee. Congratulations, excellent. You're really supporting me now. Thank you. Let's see where people are from across the three services. Let's see who wins. So we've got Army winning at the moment. There's 65 people on the call. So there's a few more just to get logged in and type in their service. Army is still winning. So Army, Navy and RAF. It's good to see that we've got representation at least from all three. And before the Navy people start putting in the Q&A why Navy second, they're the senior service. Yeah, I did realise that after I'd put this together. But Army is still winning. Any more for any more. Sadly, I can't spend 10 minutes waiting for the answers to come through. I'm hoping they will still come through. Oh, there we go. That the RAF are coming back now. Okay. Well, we can see that the Army probably won that one, but That's not to say this is Army focused. This is for all of you guys in resettlement. So please do spread the word. I'm here to help. Wellington are here to help any way we can, and we'll have more of these webinars as well. So let's see if we can try and get the Navy and the RAF to beat the Army. Okay, moving on to the next mentee. So in terms of resettlement, I'm making an assumption that most of you on the call are in your resettlement, but that is an assumption. You know, there may be some that aren't officially in resettlement in that 2 years or 1 year if you're coming to the end of your service. Let's have a look at who's in ground rush territory. So I'm out in less than 12 months. Yes, that is the ground rush territory. So we've got 20 in ground rush. For those, well, we'll get those 6 that are still serving, not officially in resettlement. Congratulations. You know, this is good. This is proactive. You're coming onto this webinar to hear about project management, despite not being in resettlement. And yeah, those that have 12 to 24 months left, well, that's a nice little luxury for you. So hopefully this, for everybody, this will be very useful. And we've got eight that are already out, but that's also good. That's also a good thing, because just because you're out, it doesn't mean you can't learn, career change. You'll find that civilians tend to bounce around different roles, and you know, have a bit of a portfolio career, gain lots of experience from different job roles. So it's a bit different to joining when you're 17 and then leaving 25 years later. Business and civvy street isn't always like that. Okay, good stuff. We'll move on. Final one. So what transferable skills / qualities do you think ex-military have to offer a civilian role? So you should have, I think there's going to be 3 options. Please try and fill out all 3 so we can get some rich data there, some rich content. Leadership is big there. For those of you who might not have seen, I like the way Reemy's in there, that's gleaming. Slightly biased, but yeah, the larger the word, that's the more times that word has been in this survey. So this is coming up with a really nice little cloud now. So project management insights. The project manager. Here's a slide from one of our courses, which shows you the 2 halves to a project manager. You've got the technical skills, estimating, scheduling, planning is one in there, risk management. There's technical skills, and part of those technical skills you will learn when and if you do a project management qualification. You may have already done some of these things in your jobs in the military, but I'd suggest that the interpersonal skills is the thing that you where you come into the fore. This is the bit where you have a lot of strengths to offer in terms of being a project manager. That leadership, that actually building teams quickly and running the teams effectively and leading the teams and getting stuff done. This is a really important part to the project manager role, and it's something where typically service leavers do very well at. This is a typical hierarchy of a project. So you have a steering board, a committee at the top, senior leaders, you have a project sponsor, somebody who is senior that sponsors the project and owns the budget, owns the business case. All terms that you will learn on whenever you do a project qual, if you haven't already done one. This is where the project manager fits into the bigger picture. The project manager leads the project team. That could be made up of various different people depending on the project. And you have the users, the end users at the end of the project that are going to receive the output of the project, depending on what that is. If the project is to build a ship, then the end users might be Navy personnel or indeed tri-service personnel who are operating that ship when it comes into service. And you're going to have to engage with the end user during the project, have pilot groups, user groups, that kind of thing, just to make sure the requirements are correct. That's project management, project manager. But what type of project manager do you want to be? So I'm not going to reel through all of these. We haven't got enough time, but this just gives you a bit of an idea. If you're sat there thinking, oh, I want to be a project manager, Well, consider what field do you want to be a project manager in? Because a construction project manager is a bit different to a business change or transformation project manager, or somebody who works in defence, building submarines, or supporting aircraft delivery. That is a bit different to not every project manager role is the same. The fundamentals of project management are the same, but depending on the type of project, it could differ. So these are things to ask about when you're looking out for project management roles. One thing I found quite prominent when you leave the military fold with all that military jargon and knowledge of the military language and defence, you move into the civilian sphere, and their civilian language is slightly different and project management language is slightly different. So there are lots and lots of project management buzzwords, which you'll see on the screen there. And it's all about just learning those buzzwords. There's a bit of an upskill required, but it's not difficult. You're used to learning. That's what we do in our training all the time. So it's nothing to be afraid of, but it's just a thing you need to learn. One of the things that I found quite amusing actually was the word Kanban. So I thought it was this crazy complex thing when actually it's a glorified whiteboard broken into 3 columns: to do column, in progress, and complete. And the Kanban is the concept of moving tasks across from one column to the next. What is project management? Well, this is the APM, the Association for Project Management body of knowledge. This is their definition. It explains what it is, says exactly what it does on the tin. So I thought I'd put these in here just in case you're hearing project management methodology terms. So waterfall. Waterfall is a linear methodology whereby you have to complete one phase before moving on to the next. And it's typically used for things like infrastructure, building, and equipment. So you can see there, it looks a bit like a waterfall. So if you hear the term waterfall, that's what it is. It's referring to linear project life cycle. As opposed to iterative methodology, or agile with a capital A. And this is referring to a project methodology whereby you set the foundations, you get the project set up, and then you go into an evolutionary development. So I've got the iPhone on there. This methodology was created for software design. So you can imagine you create the iPhone 1, and once they've assembled it, reviewed it, they deploy it. So the iPhone 1 gets deployed, bringing value quickly rather than waiting 10 years until you've got the iPhone 7 and then deploying that. So they can deploy the iPhone 1, the iPhone 2, or software upgrade 1, 2, 3, and bring in value as soon as possible. But it's an evolutionary development, always going back around and building on the feedback that they're getting. Okay, project management qualifications explained. So I'm going to start with the Project Management Institutes. So there are a few institutes globally. There's the IPMA, as you can see on the screen. There's the Project Management Institute. They are typically outside of UK. They do get involved in things in the UK, but they are more of a global reach. So PMI, for example, is more US based. The Association for Project Management is a UK institute, and I'll come on to it at the end, but the only institute you can get your chartership through for project management is through the APM. So these are institutes. Bit different to accrediting bodies, and APM is also an accredited body. So you may be familiar with these 3 accrediting bodies when you're looking for your qualifications. So if you want a management of risk course, the People Cert do that. If you want a change management practitioner qualification, APMG do that. Wellington specialise in APM. So all of our courses are based on the APM body of knowledge. We have APM qualifications, which I'll come on to. We also have accredited APM accredited courses that we have authored. We've authored more APM courses than any other business. Here are the 3 qualifications that APM deliver. And you can see there the PFQ, the fundamentals qual. I have taken this qualification and I've contextualized it for service leavers. So I deliver a specific APM fundamentals qualification for service leavers. Civilians can't get access to this. It's a reduced price point, especially designed for you guys to help you do this as part of your resettlement. You don't need an ELC. Just as a suggestion, IRTC and SLC will cover most of the cost. You'll pay less than 50 quid yourself. But the key thing about this is contextualized for you guys. So from it, you will not only network together, speak to industry professionals, ex-forces, industry professionals in project roles, but you'll also focus on resettlement, because why not have a project plan for your resettlement to ensure that you have a successful resettlement and deliver your resettlement project. So the project management for service leavers qualification is one that I deliver at Lynham, and if any of you guys do go on that, I'll be very pleased to see you in there. Alluded to it before, the APM routes to chartership. There are different pathways to get to chartership. You can only become a chartered project professional with the APM. No other institute does that. So the APM have done a very good job of elevating themselves above the other institutes, in my view. The APM website will tell you a bit more detail about those different pathways. Okay, very quickly, because I'm conscious of time. Resettlement tips. So, first one, LinkedIn. Once you've got your CV squared away, you'll probably find that you do your LinkedIn profile at a similar time. But once you're there and you're live and you're out there engaging on LinkedIn, you've got to engage. People don't just come to you. You've got your eye on a business. I'd suggest go for the veteran inside the business. So here's an example. Go to the search bar, type in Tesco. If you want to go and work in Tesco, it'll come up with people. Click on that one. And then you'll see all the people that have Tesco as their place of work on LinkedIn. Then what you do is you go to the filters and you go to more filters on the right hand side, and you put in past companies, Royal Air Force, Army and Royal Navy, and you will see all of the veterans in the business that have previously been employed in the military. These are the people, and don't inundate Barry Costello, because I don't know the guy, he'll kick me for it, but these are all the people that work in Tesco's that are veterans. They're the people that you need to connect with and have a little chat with and find out from the inside. Get that inside gen. Do your reconnaissance on the business. Find out about the recruitment process, all that kind of stuff. First tip, network like a badger. It's not my term, that. I stole it from someone else, but network like a badger is true. Understand yourself and what you want. In terms of business size, do you want an SME or do you want a large corporate? Culture, what type of culture do you want in that business? What sort of ways of working? Do you want to go into work every day, or do you want to work remotely, or do you want a hybrid approach, a bit of both? Whereabouts in the world do you want to work? Do you want to work in Bristol, the hub of all sorts of industries, or you know, do you just want to work out in the countryside in the Lake District because you've got a lovely little lodge overlooking a lake? Salary, what salary band are you looking for? What value can you bring? How do you fit into the requirements of that salary band and that type of role? So all questions you can ask the recruiter. Then you target your business and you understand what they want. That's really important as well. Understand your value, but understand what they want. It's no point going in being the best project manager in the world if they don't actually want the best project manager. They want a design engineer. And then network some more. So thank you everyone for coming along. It's a privilege for me to speak to you guys today, and I look forward to speaking with you or teaching you or anything you need. Just reach out on LinkedIn is probably the best way. You take care and good luck is the main thing. Good luck.